Hi everyone, it's Raina. So this is going to be pick a pile. I'm going to have 3 piles out here. And this is for the first week in the new month of May 2024. Maybe I'll do it like this. Not just do all piles the same. What I mean by that is not pick the cards. Okay. So decide which pile you want. I'm going to decide. I'm going to be with you. I think I'm going to pick number 1. But I mean, for myself, but I'm going to read all of these cards. Okay, the first card that I got here is the Page of Pentacles. Pages can be messages, and pentacles can be messages about work, messages about money. This could even be a small amount of money that you receive as a lump sum. This is the card of the student. So if you are beginning to embark upon some kind of study program, or maybe you hear word of that you have the financial resources to do this. Perhaps you have an idea of a moneymaker that you are going to implement. The next card is the Moon card. This is a card that is connected to Pisces with the tarot, and with astrology, this is the ruler of Cancer. So perhaps this is the person who sends you the money or who talks to you about money. You may have an idea for making money that involves your creative pursuits. This can be, or something intuitive. This could even be, if you're talking about money with someone, you may feel like there's something that is still not being really talked about, openly, and therefore you suspect that something else is up. In this first week, we are going to have a new moon in Taurus. And Taurus rules the second house in astrology, and that is the house of earned income. This is the situation with, for instance, when Uranus and Jupiter met, it was in the sign of Taurus on April 20th. I mean, they're still in the same sign, and they're still in conjunction as May begins, but they were exact on that date. So there might have been something for some of you. This may be, I was going to call it the fallout from that, but it's not like something bad. It could be something amazing. And it's coming to fruition. The moon. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. When I was thinking of the moon, I was thinking about the full moon, but maybe it's the new moon. And so this is more of a timing card when everything starts to gel. So the earth signs like Taurus are connected to Pentacles. So you might also have some kind of communication about that as well. And the Queen of Cups. Well, this is, I think I think this card is connected to Cancer. So when we talk about the moon, I just said that, in astrology, the moon rules Cancer. So, and this is also a card of mothers. So this might be receiving financial help from your mother. You might hear from her, and then she tells you that she's going to be providing that. For some of you, this may be for school or some other kind of training or educational thing. And if, with these cards, if there's anything to do with, for instance, coming up with a way to make money, I really see it being strongly either having to do with some creative talents that you have, or having to do with psychic talents. Now, you could combine the two. I mean, you could have like spiritual music. Maybe you put it on YouTube and it starts to do well. Or if it's something that is spiritual, it could be like Reiki, but long distance Reiki or something. So, but you come up with this idea and then you're going to implement it perhaps. Okay, so for the second set of cards, the first one we have here is the Knight of Wands, and this is a card of excitement in the air. Um, well, this in particular, this is more like if this is you, you're just really in this, it's almost like a wild kind of a state. So you may be just enjoying it. To me, I think of somebody getting let out of prison. So if you've recently gotten divorced, or maybe you quit your job and you just like said, take your job and shove it, you might be just rambling around and not, you're just, tasting freedom. And, that can be a great thing as long as you're in a place where you're not rebelling senselessly, or there isn't some kind of reason that you're doing it that has nothing to do with anything positive. But yeah, I mean, I could think of the single person, but it's not just a single person who's sitting home, uh, upset that they're all alone. This would be like, thank God I have freedom. Same with the workplace, leaving that. And there's a very strong independent vibe with this card. So I think it is, yeah, they say it's connected to Sagittarius. And I always, like, if I personally look at a card and I feel something else, I mention that as well. I feel that this may be more Aries because it's a warrior type of energy. And both of those signs are fire signs. The wands connect with fire. So, Aries would still qualify in that way too. If, by the way, if this is somebody that you have met, you may find it hard to tame them. You might feel that they are not willing to commit. So we have the Eight of Pentacles, and this is a card of maybe an apprenticeship, training. This is about doing your best work, doing as much as you can. This can be a card of material abundance. I mean, like empowered by money. It's a good money card. It could indicate that money is flowing your way, or that you're doing something that will lead to an increase in money. We're in an 8 universal year, by the way, in numerology. And that has to do with power, including wealth. The thing about the Eight of Pentacles is that if somebody is in the workplace and they're not happy with their life, they're not happy with their job, such a person isn't going to just throw in the towel and just mail it in. They're going to do the best that they can, even if they have one foot out the door. So, yeah, so with the Knight of Wands, it is possible that you have that kind of fever of freedom, the freedom fever, but you're not going to just make yourself look bad by not doing, not bringing your A game. Until the end, you will bring your A game. And then when you leave, you're going to leave with a sense of your head held up high. You're not going to be looking at it like where they can say, well, that person wasn't really that competent anyway. They won't be able to say that. So even if you feel like you got screwed over, maybe for a promotion or some other opportunity, and so you're like, I'm out of there, you're still going to do the best that you can. And then the Fool. Yeah, that definitely suggests some kind of absolutely new direction that you're going in. This is 0 point. And the thing about this that would be significant is for those people who tend to have, to-do lists and itineraries if they're traveling, for instance. This is about the journey that doesn't have a set destination. That it's kind of like that's what the well, I was going to say the fool's journey, but it's like the holy fool. And if you're interested in learning more about the tarot, I've already done my first tutorial, and I started with the Fool since it's 0. And you can find out more information about that card on a video. I won't even tell you that I'm going to link it because chances are that I would forget. But yeah, it's on my channel. So it's a very exciting, I think it's one of my favorite cards for sure, the Fool card, because I feel that it promises a lot of adventure, but it's not just something to kind of kill time. It really is an exploration of life from the standpoint of life being this juicy novel that we can't get enough of, but we don't know how it's going to end. Some people want to make everything as predictable as possible. And to me, that takes all the joy out of life, or the fun, what makes life so interesting. Of course, you can play small and not risk anything, but then you can't have those amazing moments either. You can just barely have pleasant experiences if you just keep everything as predictable as possible. You never know what you could achieve if you actually you know got out of your comfort zone. Okay, I almost picked the third deck without finishing my thoughts. Okay, now on to the third set of choices. Well, one of them is the Three of Wands. There's your 3. 3 is a number of expansion, and Wands is expansive because it's fire. It's the element of fire. And you see the person looking out in the distance at the water, at the mountains. This is a card of wanting to expand your horizons. And I think I heard or read that it was an entrepreneurial card. That would make sense. So if you're someone who has a business, maybe you're thinking of taking it out further so that it gains, you can expand your territory. Same with relationships. You may feel that you are very stuck in this little box in terms of relationship. If you're single, you may be like, I have to get out of this local area. I'm not meeting anyone here. And you never know. King of Swords. This is a card of ultimate mastery over thought. So if you are like, if the Three of Wands is someone who is in a marriage where they feel trapped, or a committed partnership where they feel trapped, or you can even say a job, it can generate fear and guilt and sadness to imagine taking that initiative and making that happen. You might feel like the worst person in the world, that you're doing this thing that is so, cruel to the other person. If the other person isn't asking for a divorce and you're the one who wants one, you might feel very guilty about that. But sometimes you have to put emotions aside for the higher good of both people concerned. Or if this is a workplace situation where you feel like you want to leave, you feel like maybe you have to work too many hours and it is making you not feel free, or it's burning you out in some way. You can't let fear come between you and your decision making, or you're going to be adversely affected by those feelings of survival. Not to say that, it's always the right time to quit a job. If that is your sole source of support, then it's actually quite logical. But it's not allowing your emotions to mess with your thoughts. Seven of Wands, this is about pushing back and standing your ground. There may be some reason why you need to do this. Maybe you've been allowing somebody to get away with bad behavior, and you should be, standing in your sovereignty and not, and letting people know that you're not going to be manipulated. You're not going to allow personal attacks to seep into your consciousness and make you think less of yourself. Those tactics aren't going to work. And also that you're going to note anyone who is trying to do that. Like, okay, why is this person why do they keep withholding praise? Why does my boss keep withholding praise? And they think that I'm going to stay working here. That's really bizarre. Do they really think that I'm going to kick it up a notch if they are always criticizing me because I'm going to be so insecure that I'm just going to try to curry favor with them? And you're going to see how this is happening and be able to kind of stop that. Stop yourself from having to deal with those kinds of things. But first, you have to even acknowledge that they exist. And that will put you to the next level so that you can accomplish what you want to accomplish. Okay, that's what I have for you. I hope that that resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.